Welcome back to Cedar Cove Farm. It is the end of December. I figured I'd shoot a year in review video for you guys just to talk about what all I went through and what we're looking forward to going into 2022. Overall, it's been a pretty good year here on the farm. Have made a lot of progress on several projects. Other projects didn't get as far as I'd like, but that's how it goes. Been busy with work, been busy with some projects inside the house that you guys haven't seen. I put a whole new shower in our master bathroom that took a lot longer than I thought it would take. Fixing up some other stuff that's broken in the house, but that's just what comes with home ownership. But looking out at the farm and the videos that I've brought you guys along with, the egg chickens that we've got, you've seen a lot of them. They're doing real well. We're going to stock up on more egg layers here coming into 2022. We lost a few, some to raccoons or critters. We've got videos on that. Unfortunately, here in the last week, we've lost another 2 chickens. One unknown, one our rooster, Rocky, that you guys are familiar with. I've had to put him down. He was unable to stand up anymore, and it's easier to just put him out of his misery than have him limping around and getting picked on by the other chickens. So, but looking forward into 2022, we'll be stocking back up on new egg layers, adding new diversity into our flock, different breeds, different types, so we can get different colors of eggs, different sizes of chickens, different looking chickens. Right now we have predominantly brown egg layers. Our 2 Americanas who lay blue, green, gray colored eggs, they've kind of stopped laying. They're getting pretty old, so I'm getting some different colors in there just for fun. The eggs all taste the same, it's just what the shells look like. Meat chickens, we didn't raise any this year. We still had plenty of meat left over from this last year, so I didn't have a need to raise new meat chickens. But going forward into 2022, definitely most likely going to be raising more meat chickens. I've actually got my name with a butcher just in a town north of us to give out. If anyone there, they don't actually sell any chicken, they mostly process beef, hogs, deer during hunting season, but they don't process any poultry. So they actually have my name. If they have customers coming in looking for fresh chickens, they've got my name and number, so potentially a new source of business income moving forward, raising meat chickens for sale for a greater audience. Right now it's mostly word of mouth, friends, family, co-workers that buy the meat chickens that we raise here. Going forward, it'd be nice to expand that. They're pretty easy to take care of. 12 to 14 weeks to raise the chickens and then a day to process them. So moving forward, that's kind of where our chicken operation is going. Looking back at the planter, the sweet corn operation, this year was a big success compared to last year. Last year, I think I got 3 years of corn total. It was just overcome with weeds, poor emergence, deer ate all of the sweet corn down to little nubbins. Once it went from 6 inches down to 2 inches, and that killed off a lot of the sweet corn. In 2021, we had plenty of corn. There was still a lot that could have been better. We still had a lot of weed presence. So going forward, I'm looking into some more techniques, looking into some cultivators or a rotary hoe or something to go through and kind of tear those weeds out mid-season. I'm still trying to keep it chemical free. That may or may not be a possibility. It just depends, but I'm going to keep trying to improve on that. Eventually it'd be nice to get enough of a sweet corn patch that I can start to sell the extra corn that we're not going to use. So far the area that I've marked out is 125 foot by 125 foot. It's a pretty small area, 1 pound of corn. But going forward, I would would not mind expanding that if I can get the weed control figured out, getting that to half an acre or an acre of sweet corn and being able to sell that along with those chickens. Also got the planter, so it was working a whole lot better. You guys saw some videos on that, repairing the finger pickup on that planter this spring, which really helped with getting more corn in the ground at an even spacing. Going forward, I'm still always looking at auctions for 4 or 6 row planters. They're becoming a hot commodity right now, just because a lot of guys are looking to have small mechanical drive equipment in case their high dollar electrically controlled equipment goes down. Also, a lot more people are looking to plant sweet corn in small patches of crops. So the auctions, those prices are going higher, but we'll keep working on it, looking for it. The 2-row planter, it works. It does its job, so I can't complain too much. Looking out at the hay front, it was a bad year for hay. Got 1 cutting. It was a very poor cutting, very few bales. It just did not look good. Going forward, looking into 2022, I really want to improve that. I should be able to get at least 2 cuttings out of it, even with the sandy soil I have. So there are some changes going forward that I will be making on that front. Number 1, we will be putting fertilizer down this spring at least once, if not twice, depending on what the fields can handle. The sandy soil that we have here, it doesn't hold nutrients. Black soils, loam, clay, those soils hold the nutrients in, so a lot of people can put that fertilizer down here this last fall and it'll be available for the grass or the crop going forward into the spring. With the sandy soils that we have here, that's not a possibility. Those nutrients will just run off over the winter, so I really have to time the fertilization right when the grass or the hay is able to use it, which means putting it down right away in the spring when the grass is starting to grow. And then again, after that first cutting, get it in there so it can really start to take off again. That should really help with hay production. And then hopefully we don't have a drought year. I can't control the weather. It was a terrible drought year. We didn't get much rain. That's why I never got a second cutting off of the field. If we can get some rain, get some fertilizer, it should be a lot better. Number 2, what I'm hoping to try is to take one of our 3-acre fields, lightly disc it up, and then actually convert it to alfalfa. Alfalfa is a very deep-rooted crop. It's used for hay. And the hope that I'm looking for is that once it gets established in the sand, it'll shoot those roots down deep enough that it can find water. It can be more drought tolerant than typical grasses, and it's actually a higher dollar hay product. So I'm going to test it out. I'm just going to do 3 acres of the 20 acres of hay field that we have, convert it to alfalfa, see how that goes. Hopefully something grows. If it doesn't, I'm out 3 acres, but the hay that yielded off of it last year wasn't even worth anything, so I'm out my time and the fuel to run the tractor to get all that done. Looking at other livestock, I know spring or January this year, in the video we talked about looking at getting some pigs or some cows. That didn't happen. It's probably not going to happen this coming year, just looking at what my work schedule looks like for the springtime. With my normal job, I get busy in the spring. Spring is when I need to bring new animals in as well if I want to slaughter them for the fall. And what I mean by new animals, I mean large animals. So pigs, a pig typically takes 6 months to raise from when it's born to when it's ready for slaughter. So you want to process those pigs in late September, early October before it starts to get cold outside. As it starts to get cold, the pigs tend to not put any more weight on. So looking back 6 months previous to October would be that April time frame, which is the prime busy season for my job. So going forward, it may be something that I look into maybe processing them a little later into that late November late October, early November time frame, which allows me to pick those pigs up in May, June, which gives them still plenty of time to grow, or I process them before they hit that 6-month frame. They'll be a little smaller, but we'll still have our own farm-raised pigs. Cows, those are further out in the future. I've looked into those. There's actually been a couple sets of cows that I've thought about purchasing with that right now, but work being busy and a little unpredictable this coming spring, and with Erin being pretty busy with her job and her work, I'm kind of focusing on pushing the cows out another year or two, because they're a bit more of a process. You don't have a cow for 6 months. You have a cow for several years. For a beef cow, it's 18 to 24 months. The plan here is to raise those on grass, which is 2 years probably to raise a cow on grass to get it big enough for slaughter. So those are out, but I have been working on that infrastructure. You saw videos on fencing repair, making sure all the fencing stays intact and good for if something does come up and we do happen to find a good deal or a good time frame for cows or pigs, everything's ready. And that's a big key, is being ready. I can't always predict for sure when new livestock may be available, but to have that infrastructure in place and ready to go, that really helps. And it makes it more open to, if I come across something that works really well for our operation, I'm not put back by not having that infrastructure later, or infrastructure ready. The last big thing, you saw quite a bit of work on tractors and cars. I've added some cars to the mix here in the end of the year. Going forward, I'll probably keep showing videos on those. Those are a little longer videos. They're not quite as much they're not farm related when working on the cars, but it's another aspect that I work on that I enjoy here, and especially with the farm being slow or really nothing in the winter. The cars are my other hobby that I've worked on, continue to work on, and I'll show some videos from time to time. Those videos are a little longer format just because I'm out there for hours on a Saturday or Sunday working on that, and I try and give information so that you guys can learn some of the basics, some of the more in-depth stuff, and try and teach, right? That's one thing I want to try and do with this channel, is continue to teach about different aspects, not only with the farm, but everyone today seems to own a car. So some of those features I don't mind teaching and showing and learning things as well as I'm working on stuff and showing you guys. So those will continue to be in videos going forward. If I see there's not much response to those, I'll stop showing them, or I'll split them off into a separate channel. We'll see where that goes. But that's kind of how the year's gone. Looking forward to next year. I think it'll be a good year. It should be a good year. We've got a lot of plans in place. Hopefully we'll be able to execute on those plans, and we'll see what it brings. But that's all I got for you. Thanks for hanging out with me all year. Thanks for everyone who subscribed. It's really nice to see people watching the channel, hopefully learning something. That's my goal. Teach some things, see some interesting things, show some fun aspects of the farm life. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for hanging out with Cedar Cove Farm.